Alrighty, you guys. So welcome to the Victory Nation team call. Today I want to talk about taking a leadership role in your business. I know some of you are starting to do so and are recruiting coaches, and some of you already have working coaches. So today I just want to kind of review what it is we do and what we don't do as coaches and as a leading coach, somebody who is looking to really lead their team. So let me do a screen share. All right, cool. You guys have okay there. Okay, you guys good? You can see? All right. So leadership training, how to be a successful and efficient leader. Okay, so your responsibility as a leader is to be attentive to your new coach. So what I mean by that is, especially in the beginning, it's very important to make sure that you are available to your coach. I'm saying the beginning because as time goes by, it is kind of their responsibility to be self-motivated enough to kind of find their own information. The biggest thing also I mean by being attentive is being patient. I think a big struggle some coaches have is that, you know, maybe some learn a little bit faster than others. And people can get kind of frustrated with the fact that some people function differently than yourself, or someone's learning a lot slower than you learned something, or they're asking the same questions 3-4 times. Just know that, you know, everybody learns at a different pace, and we have to respect that, because in the end, we want them all to be able to come to us. You know, if you're going to be a leader, you don't want people to feel intimidated by you. You don't want to, you know, talk to people like you're, you know, you're not learning fast enough, you should learn faster, or, you know, why you're not understanding this. You never want to do that because, like I said, everybody's different, and it's really important to keep that in mind. So no matter how frustrated you might get, just think about that and think that everybody's different, and just make sure if you're frustrated, just kind of release however that works for you. Go work out, you know. It's also important to gain their trust and build a relationship, you know. Being attentive doesn't just mean in a business aspect. You're here with them in the long run. So you want to make sure you establish a bond between the two of you so that you can be that great support system. And then be a good support system through goal setting and accountability. So goal setting is extremely important with your brand new coaches. You need to learn what it is that they want out of life and why they decided to become a coach. The reason being is because there will come a time in every coach's life where they become overwhelmed. And it's usually in the beginning, and the key is to be there for them when they feel like jumping ship. Because I'll tell you, probably 90%, maybe even 99% or 100% of coaches have had a moment in their coach career where they said, I can't do this. And I'm just here to tell you that everybody can do this. You just need to remind them of why it is that they started. And that is through setting that initial goal and reminding them that, you know, as long as you do not quit, you will get there. You know, time is not a factor in this. It's not about how long it's going to take to get there. It's the fact that you will get there as long as you keep up with what it is you want and what your original why is and why you started. And, you know, if your goal is to purchase a house or take better care of your family, you know, to open up another business that is another passion of yours, et cetera, et cetera. Give credit and recognition when it is due. This is very important. You know, people want to feel appreciated, and this goes directly with being that support system. You know, giving recognition shows them that they're doing something right, especially in the beginning when they don't quite understand Success Club or they're just unfamiliar with certain things that we do as coaches still, and they're kind of just going with the flow, giving them recognition will just help give them a more realistic sense that they're doing a good job. Invest time in those who work hard and show potential. This comes down to time management. It is important to kind of gauge where your coaches are and how they're doing, and pay careful attention to the fact that once you invest too much time in somebody and you can kind of sense that they're just not putting in the effort that they originally claimed they would put in, I suggest you back off a little bit. And if they end up completely bailing out, you know, that's probably something that was inevitable anyway. You know, people are going to do what they're going to do, whether you're a part of that or not. And I'll get to that in the next slide a little bit more in detail. And then this is probably one of the most important ones. You know, it's to lead by example. You want people to look up to you, and you want people to see what it is that you're doing that is creating success for yourself. This is a duplication system. So if, for example, I can lead by example and show you how it's done, then you can do that as well. You know, so it is extremely important. Be positive, be nice, don't be controversial. Make sure that you're ahead of the game, and that people have respect for you because you are a hard worker, and showing them that that the possibilities are endless by what it is that you're doing. Okay, focus on your own continued training. Again, this is so you can better lead by example. What's also amazing is that if you can be a very good leader and you do continue training, it allows you to gather more information to share with your team that allows them to take shortcuts. As you know, in order for you to succeed, you have to be willing to help and support your team. And continued training will do that for you. Those shortcuts that you're providing for them will get them to a faster pace to being successful. And that's how you will grow a successful team. Also, you know, me personally, and I'm sure many other coaches still make mistakes all the time. I know I do. But as I learn from my mistakes, I can tell my coaches to not do the same thing. So altogether, they get to skip that step of something that really doesn't work. And again, this will propel them forward much faster. And again, it also goes back to people looking up to you, and you know, you get the chance to inspire people through your knowledge. Okay. So let's cover a little bit what is not your responsibility as a coach. Okay, so dragging people through their business. Okay, it is not your responsibility to be a babysitter. You know, everybody here is an adult, and they can choose to be successful or not. And all you need to do is provide them with the proper tools to become successful in this business. I have had it happen personally with about 3 coaches, more towards like the start of my business, where I just invested so much time in them and then they bailed. And it's like the entire time I invested all of this me time and time I could have been inviting and working hard and doing other things. I invested time in somebody who really, I already knew it wasn't going to work. Because if you need to really drag people through this, then chances are that they're not going to be in it for the long run, and you're really going to be angry with yourself, because you're going to think, wow, I just wasted hours of my time. I mean, I've had my own personally sponsored coaches who literally did nothing with their business. I trained them, I showed them what to do, I did getting started right calls with them, and poof, a week later, they're just done. They're jumping ship. I try to talk them out of it, and it's like, nope. And that's when you're really going to start getting frustrated, and I think that's how stress is really caused in this business. So pay very close attention, and that's also why it's very important to recruit with purpose. Don't just click on Facebook and look at somebody and say, wow, they're you know, kind of in shape, or they eat salads, or whatever you feel like would be like, wow, they're in shape, maybe they would be a good coach, or maybe they're working on it and so they could be a good coach. That's not it. You want to look for people where you can sense that they're going to be self-motivating, hardworking. It's much better to kind of be picky, and then, because then you will actually spend a lot less time on people you're dragging, because it will kind of naturally happen, but you kind of have to stop yourself, because, you know, we all want to create more coaches and more coaches, and, you know, it took a lot of effort to get that person signed up. So you're still kind of dragging them along because you need them to rank advance, or for whatever reason. Honestly, it won't be worth your time. So next, personally teaching your personally sponsored coaches. Okay, here is something I really want to touch base on, and it's what I'm currently dealing with now. But I want to tell you guys, we have a system in place. We have a team training site. We have 2 of them now, which we're going to go over after this slide. We have team training sites. We have tons of resources available. We have YouTube. We have the Beachbody site. You can subscribe to Beachbody on YouTube. You can go to Pinterest and find posting ideas. You can even go on the Team Beachbody website in the training section. You know, there is tons of ways to learn. And I want all of you to know that it's not your responsibility to turn into a teacher. It is only your responsibility to be that person's mentor. And I'm going to tell you now that with me, I have been so over the top supportive, which has been incredible. I'll be honest with you, because it's what's helped me rank advance, as you guys already know. So it was a positive thing. But one thing that I learned is that it took away a lot of time for me to be able to lead by example. So today I'm at Success Club 6, where usually I'd be at like Success Club 10 by now. And that's happening because I've kind of ignored myself and focused on the people on my team. So it's just important to make sure that you use your time wisely, and make sure that your downline is looking for resources and questions to their answers before they come and speak with you. It's very important, because how can you lead by example if you don't have time to focus on your own business? So that's definitely a lesson I learned this month. And it's something I'm going to keep touching base on a little bit as well. So yeah. And then we go to, it is also not your responsibility to support your personally sponsored coach's downline. So again, it's great to be a mentor to your own personally sponsored coach. And if they have questions about how to take care of their new coaches, all you can do is give advice. But as far as completely, you know, chiming in and taking care of another coach who's not personally sponsored by you, that is definitely not your responsibility. It is your personally sponsored coach's responsibility to do the training, to get familiar, to check out the resources and understand what they need to do as a coach so that they themselves can become that leader that we've been talking about. Okay. All right. So I don't know if some of you know, I've been working on creating a new site, a new training site. I've had a lot of feedback from everybody who has become my coach that the Team Beachbody website their training is too overwhelming and a little bit confusing, because they do have extra videos there, and it's kind of wishy-washy and doesn't really explain it and make a good point. So I decided to get rid of that and create our own introductory training site, which is similar to the Team Beachbody training, except it's done in simple steps. And it touches base on things a little bit more simple and straight to the point. So I want to train you guys for a little bit on how to sign up your new coaches and take them through this process, because it has completely changed from what we had before. So before we had the first welcome email, and then they would do, you know, the 7-day business quick start and the coach portrait, and then they would go to the Team Beachbody website and do the training, and then they would do the getting started right call. Well, now we got rid of that, and we're doing no coach portrait, no business quick start, and we will just be plugging them into the first introductory training, and I'm going to take you guys through that. So as you can read right here, as you can read right here, this is the step-by-step process. So add to Victory Nation team group and other additional team groups that you want to add them to. Welcome them, give intro, send Team Victory Nation welcome letter, set up getting started right call, use coach profile. We're going to talk about that. And during your call, give slideshow presentation, send Team Victory letter number 2, and add them to the coach boot camp. Oops. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let me show you guys quickly. There you are. This new process. So you guys were able to hear in on all of that, correct? Okay, cool. Okay, so I'll show you guys on the Victory Nation site. So whenever you're ready to sign up a new coach, you're going to go to, of course, your training and your phase 3 coaching. Okay, and then you're going to go to I have sponsored a new coach, now what? So whenever you get confused or forget something and it's about coaching, this is where you find it. So it's going to tell you step by step what to do, but I'm also going to show you how things are a little bit different. So of course, add them to the group, and then make a photo collage and all that good stuff. And then you're going to send them the first Team Victory Nation welcome letter. So let's look at that for a second. It's pretty much the same with a few exceptions. So again, we're going to tell them to set up all of their stuff like the EFT and then their profile. That's the same, okay? And then here's where it's different at step 3. So instead of giving them the business quick start, which is just filling out information and clicking on hyperlinks and things like that, we've taken it away, and now we have introductory training, which again is similar to the Beachbody website, except I'm going to show it to you guys. You guys are going to like it. Then you would do the getting started right call, and during that, you're going to go over the coach profile. I'm going to show the coach profile to you guys too. So first, let's go to the introduction site. Whoopsie, sorry guys. There it is. All right, so this is the new training site. I hope you guys are excited about it, because I am. But it's just going to be great, because people won't feel as intimidated, I think. It's just going to have a quick welcome, a quick welcome to the team. It's a quick introduction, kind of explaining all of this. And see, it's broken down in steps 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if people can't follow that, then there might be a problem, okay? Whereas with the Beachbody site, it was kind of like, do this, and then start here, and then go here, and click on this video. And I was like, no, let's not do that. So steps 1 through 4 seems a lot more efficient. So step 1, announcing you're a coach. That's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to learn about quick little social media 101, because what happens is that information gets lost and people start posting, and then you're like, ooh, that's not how we should have done it. We should have done it like this. So now it's going to explain it to them right away in their first welcome email. Step 2, 3 vital behaviors. program training. So learning what the programs are all about, that's important. I feel like that should be one of the first things you guys learn. I'm not sure why it's not on the site, but it is here now. What is a challenger? What is a challenge group? What is a challenge pack? You know, that's important. It might sound really basic to us, but somebody who just joined doesn't know these things. Coach Online Office. I made a quick video of the very, very basics. It's not like going into depth. It's just very, very simple. How to succeed as a coach. Step 3, the inviting process. I've noticed a lot of people get really excited and they're like, I just want to start. What do I do? And then I realize it takes away so much of my time. So here's that time management thing. This site is for management, time management, so that you guys can still do your own invites and be the leader and lead by example, because now all the answers are provided here in a very simple way, okay? Being organized from A to Z, the basics of being organized. So creating a follow-up list, a challenger invite list, and a coach invite list, okay? Teaching them about that. And then step 4, a compensation overview, because everybody kind of deserves to know the basics of how much they're going to be making in this business, okay? So I'm very excited about this. You guys look through it, okay? Once we get off this call, so you maybe even go through it yourself, you know, and maybe you have something new to learn, or, you know, anything like that. Okay, so let's go back over here. So then what you would do next is when you do your getting started right call, you're going to be doing your coach profile with them. So you're going to be doing the slideshow that I did with all of you guys. But you're also going to be doing the coach profile. And let me show it to you guys. Print a bunch of these out and put them in a binder so that whenever a coach signs up, the second they sign up, you can start filling this out. Okay? Let's see. Here it is. So the second a new coach signs up, put their name, coach ID, phone number, email, address, the date that they joined, okay? And then leave the rest blank for when you guys actually talk, okay? So that when you talk, you can get to know the person. You know, you want to set a date that they're going to reach their emerald rank, and then you're going to help keep them accountable. It makes you look like a good individual. You're not pushing them. You're just going to remind them as they go through their business, hey, you know what? Maybe we should focus on this, this, and this, because remember, we set a date to hit emerald by this date, okay? So it helps keep everything very productive. You know, you're going to talk about their favorite color, hobbies, and store, just to kind of get to know them. Why did you decide to become a Beachbody coach? Again, we talked about that. That's the goals and the accountability. It's to be sure that when somebody wants to jump ship because they're scared or afraid or overwhelmed, you can tell them, listen, do you remember when we talked at our Getting Started Right call, and these were your goals? And I promise you, if you don't give up, you will get there. And then you can review their goals with them, and it will help them reevaluate their current situation and realize that this is worth it, okay? And then as time goes on, once somebody hits emerald, you're going to start talking about when would you like to reach diamond? When would you like to reach this goal? So things like that. That's something you're first going to introduce during the Getting Started Right call. And I suggest you print a bunch of these so that you have them ready and set to go. And then after you do your Getting Started Right call, you will send them the second email. And then that's going to give them the regular Team Victory Nation training site, the one that you guys are already familiar with, that we actually just looked at to get into this, or we're looking at it right now. There. Yeah, so that's going to plug you into this site, and then it's all set and ready to go. Okay. Let me see if I can. Okay, so any questions for me? If not, that's okay. Oh, don't mind my Annika.
Like about like in the beginning, you said something like, okay, as a challenger, you're supposed to really, you know, guide them to do their shit, basically. And then like, but like, say like I'm gonna get like those challengers as a coach, like, I guess maybe I'm speaking for myself when I say this, but becoming more accountable and like teaching that, and like I'm realizing right now the importance of actually like really studying, because I'm a Valley Boy brat, and you and I both know that, as I'm just like okay, where's my silver platter at? Like, you know, do these things for me, blah blah blah. So it's like, how can I teach that to them, like, while getting out of myself? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Do you mean like, how can you hold them accountable?
Accountable. Well, yeah.
The way you hold them accountable is just leading by example. You know,
exactly. But then
you're already holding them accountable. And I'll be honest with you, Manny, what happens is that not everybody is as motivated as you are. You know, your job, yes, is to help push them in